We are back. Peanut Gallery. What is this?
So Black Label Pro is going on hiatus for some reason. So
I have never heard of the company in my
yeah,
entire life.
I've nenever heard of the company before either. But the fact that they have names on there like, whatever
Jinder Mahal.
Yeah, Jinder Mahal, whatever his free name is.
Billy Starks.
Yeah. So apparently, for whatever reason, they are going on hiatus. They had an event scheduled. I believe they had it scheduled in November, but they canceled all of their events. Like they've already been selling tickets and everything, and now they're just going on hiatus.
Interesting.
Yeah, and the promotion was founded in 2017. I wanted to bring this up because there were the indie promotion has been seeing a lot of success in recent years. So this is kind of a uncommon, like, not an L, but it's kind of like, oh, I guess.
I wonder if there's something more to it other than just monetary issues.
I'm thinking that as well. The person who runs the company stated that they were mentally exhausted for whatever that means. But that's just the nature of the business. So
I wouldn't, like I said, it may not be monetary. I mean, the person can do whatever they want with their company.
But it's just kind of weird that they had already planned events and sold tickets. And if they're doing financially well, then they should be able to run those events without a problem.
Not necessarily. It might actually be a burnout issue.
Yeah.
Maybe they just got a little tired. I mean, it takes a lot to run a wrestling company.
But again, you shouldn't do that while you're actively selling tickets. Like,
it could have just broke. I mean, he could have just snapped and said, you know what, I can't stress this enough now. Maybe they were running into issues where it's just like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna refund everybody. I'm done with this.
Maybe it's just kind of weird how that just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how good Black Label Pro was doing exactly. I don't follow them at all.
I'm not sure either, but obviously, So going on, obviously we've all seen this. This is Delta. She's coming on 10/27, which is what you see on the sign.
Yeah.
Which is the same day as Halloween Havoc.
Yes.
So expect that to happen.
Yep.
Yay, more new women in the women's division.
And her style is very much a Halloween-y tape thing,
Yep.
so we should be okay with that.
Yep. So AEW, they are seeking a new partner. Supposedly, it's just a report, but they are supposedly seeking a new partner for their video games.
They're gonna try to do that again.
Yeah, I think they are. But obviously, Yuke's dropped a big L because Fight Forever was absolute garbage.
It was really bad.
I
think that really hurt AEW more than anything.
I think so too, because it's like you have obviously world-class roster of talent, and they want to play as these, but WWE 2K, they're just making their wrestlers on WWE 2K and playing there,
Right.
I mean, you can go to WWE 2K's mod website, whatever that is, their ecosystem, and find every single AEW wrestler.
They had a very unique idea with that Stadium Stampede thing, like the Battle Royal type action.
Yeah.
But they implemented that in Fight Forever later.
Yep.
Which was super weird.
Yeah.
But this was a mitigated disaster, and the fact that they think they're going to do another video game is laughable, because that was...
It's just, I don't know if they're... again, I'm no expert, but they obviously chose the wrong partner for their video
There's a reason why WWE is not using Ukes anymore.
Right.
I didn't even know Ukes still existed.
I didn't know they still existed either. So... the Costco guys, the Costco brothers, I don't know.
So it's a father and son.
Well, supposedly, I don't even know if it's a father and son, because remember, oh God, who was it that we talked? They were involved in another controversy. Oh, that was Scott Schaefer. Scott Schaefer apologized because he wasn't aware that it was actually not a father and son team. I think it's like an uncle-nephew team or something along those lines.
AJ Justice, the big moron, because apparently they're so desperate on anybody with a clue. Like, I don't even know why the Costco guys got... Can we stop making people who do dumb shit popular? Seriously. Right. Good for them of building the brand around it, just like the Hawk Tub bitch, who now is suing the person who interviewed her with that infamous thing, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
But he has a match.
Yeah, he has like a 1-match deal.
This is literally
This is stupid.
no. This is the antithesis of what AEW is supposed to be.
Oh yeah, they are supposed to be real wrestling.
Yeah,
right?
this is the literal, honest to God, paint by numbers antithesis.
And the only reason they're doing this is because I'm sure that they saw the success of someone like Logan Paul doing moves, making moves. But Logan Paul is legitimately like a pro athlete,
right?
Like,
now, to what I have heard is that the big guy actually did train a little bit as a wrestler eons ago.
But that's not going to make much of a difference.
Well, currently, right now, he is being trained by Sanjay Dutt, so it's not like he's not going to be getting some good training. We'll see where it goes. I mean, Sanjay he's a great trainer, so I'm not necessarily worried. But they might be able to smoke and mirrors this.
Maybe.
Once again, it's the antithesis of what it's supposed to be.
AEW's not supposed to have this kind of
stuff. This is supposed to be the WWE stuff. This is why people got away from it, right? Mm-hmm. But now you're doing it. It's silly. It's ridiculous.
So
this sucks.
I don't know if you've heard, but Killswitch was hospitalized because he had pneumonia in both of his lungs.
I know. How in the hell did he do that?
I don't know, but it was a pretty serious thing. Like he was on breathing machine, like not a ventilator, but he had like assisted breathing, like he had a breathing mask and stuff like that.
Good Lord.
Pretty.
Is he out of the hospital?
I don't know off the top of my head if he's out of the hospital yet. Last I heard, he was still in the hospital. But yeah, a pretty big scare.
That's really bad. I mean, pneumonia still kills people, and he had it in both of his lungs.
Both lungs. That could have easily killed him.
He could be out of wrestling, period, if he can't get back. Pneumonia damages.
Yeah, it does. It's a very damaging condition to have.
Yeah. That sucks.
So Matt Cardona, for whatever reason, thinks that he is shocked that he hasn't received offers from either the WWE or AEW.
I'm not
either. It wasn't his whole shtick like indies, like he wanted to be the indie god.
Yeah, he's the king of the indies.
Right.
I think it's because he's like I think it's not necessarily that he would accept. I mean, he wants to retire in WWE. He stated that, but I just don't know where he would fit.
Right. He doesn't. He wouldn't have a place. Like what I could easily see him being is maybe more of a veteran figure on the NXT scene. And it would make sense, obviously, for him to go to the WWE, considering his spouse worked for the WWE.
Right. I think he's fine doing what he's doing. I don't know why he would be shocked that nobody's given him an offer. I mean, obviously, AEW's been throwing around money left, right, and center.
Yeah.
And WWE is, I think, really more so focused on the NIL people, and then maybe some...
And I think that's part of the reason, too.
Maybe some standouts. But Cardona is great about reinvention and having multiple gimmicks and juggling that. His GCW is the king of the death match, and then everywhere else he's the king of the indies, and then in TNA he's doing something else. He would be a valuable asset to maybe the next generation.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's honestly the only place I could see him. Otherwise, I don't see him fitting in anywhere, really. I mean, maybe on SmackDown. I mean, that would be the most logical place for him to go on the main roster.
I feel like he would get lost in the shuffle in AEW.
Yep.
And then with WWE, like I said, I think doing the NXT stuff, maybe twilight of your career, you get one more big good run,
right?
Another WrestleMania moment, but I don't see Cardona as big stage wrestler. I think he's a more valuable asset on the indie scene.
Yeah,
he's probably making more money there too.
Well, he'd make more money going to the WWE.
Well, he said he's making more money doing the indie stuff. I'm sure. I mean, keep in mind he's doing the books himself.
That's true.
He can pace himself on that.
Yeah.
I mean, Dijak, I just posted something that he hasn't been this busy ever in wrestling. And he's like, I can have my own schedule. It's like right now, indies are great if you know how to rate yourself. Riddle's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm sure Riddle's doing fine. He's doing other projects too. Cardona shouldn't necessarily complain about it.
No,
hell, I would be
I think he's just like, well, I'm surprised I haven't received an offer yet, because maybe he thought he was a bigger deal than he actually,
I think he's a big deal. Maybe they're just not focused on it right now.
I just don't think there's any appetite for him at the moment.
Right.
I think that's what he's most shocked about.
Maybe later.
Yeah.
I mean, they needed Chelsea Green more. They needed a Matt Cardona at that point, I guess. I don't know.
I guess. So this was here because I want to talk about the media rights. So obviously, biggest news in AEW this year pretty much has been media rights negotiations. So a couple of things that are interesting to me. So there's no mention of Rampage, number one.
I think it's
with SmackDown going to 3 hours, possibly, I think that they're probably going to drop Rampage.
Yep.
There are also possibilities that Ring of Honor might go to True TV.
Okay.
Which
be interesting.
Would be an interesting place for it. I know that Tony Khan was very interested in getting more Ring of Honor rights included.
I know.
And then streaming all the archives for Dynamite, Rampage, and Collision are going to be on the Max app starting in 2025.
And they're going to be streaming the new episodes on there as well.
Yeah, they are.
Yes.
So it's going to be simulcast on the stream.
Well, I mean, it's only going to be for Dynamite and Collision.
Right.
Rampage and Ring of Honor is not
we don't know about Rampage or Ring of Honor on television. And then later on in the year, there's a possibility that they're going to start offering pay-per-views at a discounted rate.
No, that's been confirmed that they're going to be doing the pay-per-views at discounted
But that's not
rates.
until later on in 2025.
Yes, I'm aware.
The other thing, too, is that Bleacher Report, as we had discussed, is being absorbed into the ecosystem of Warner Discovery's products. So
yeah.
That's part of the. I think that's a big reason why they're starting to stream on.
I think them being on Max is a great idea.
Yeah, it is.
100%, because they're putting in a lot of investment into Max as a viable property to compete with Peacock and Disney.
And then the other thing we discussed this a couple weeks ago as well is that Warner Brother Discovery is also part of a new super sports app that includes Fox.
Yeah, I think it's called FEMU or something.
Yeah.
We talked about it a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, we did. And so if there's a possibility that they could be on that as well, but obviously nothing has been confirmed about that.
Right.
But yes, we can finally put the rumors to rest.
It's only 3 years. I think
Yes.
that 3 years is like, you better turn this fucking ship around.
That's what I'm thinking.
Because I'm sure they're not thrilled about this drop, because that's not good.
No, I think it's more than their initial contract was, though, but less time.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one.
So Shelton Benjamin debuted.
He got a good pop.
He
I'm
did.
happy about that. People need to realize that this is not the Shelton Benjamin of 2004.
No, he's not like the super athlete that he was in 2004. He was not. Obviously, the rumor mill is going around that Bobby Lashley is going to sign with AEW, which has not yet been confirmed, but is heavily implied.
Right.
The only person that returned, though, Jay White also returned on AEW,
Which is good. They need they butchered Jay White to hell.
Oh yeah, they butchered anyone that came over from New Japan Pro Wrestling besides maybe Kenny Omega was just butchered.
And then the Young Bucks.
Right.
Well, but the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega started the fucking company.
They did. So there we have that. Sammy Guevara was during Ring of Honor match, obviously, as you can see, he was wheeled off in a stretcher.
So there were two.
Yeah, there were two. He wasn't the only one. I think the other one was...
there was a match with Lady Frost and a girl, and she was also stretchered out.
Not Lady Frost, but the other person.
Yes, Lady Frost injured her.
And then the other one was Sammy Guevara. Now, I think the Sammy Guevara one was just a concussion, yes. I think. So it wasn't anything serious, but
a concussion is serious, but it's not like he's paralyzed.
It's not, you're right. It's not like he's paralyzed. I mean, he's fine. Well, if he was paralyzed,
concussion is relative.
Yeah, relative. Fine. It's relative. And then AJ Styles also seemingly injured himself on Friday. I don't have a picture for it, but that was also just a. I think it was either a storyline or it was just a scare. I think it's a sprain. I believe the injury is IRL. I have no idea why they would fake that on his return. That'd be super weird. But I mean, that sucks because they lost Ilya Dragunov for 6 to 8 months because he tore his ACL with the two injuries that were so serious that they had to go out on a stretcher. Now with Styles,
at the very least, he had the ability to walk out. So it could be a scare. It could be a sprain. It's not fun. The referee had to stop the match. And you could tell that they really wanted to continue because Styles continued to wrestle. But I think the pain and, at the same time, you have to think about people's safety. If you are hurt on your leg, how are you going to trust somebody to take your body and throw it over their body?
Right.
If they collapse, you land on your head.
Yep. And I know that Kota Ibushi also had to pull out of some dates as well.
I don't know why.
And he has just had a rough 2020s.
I know.
Like a rough first half of this decade. He's been plagued with injury after health scare after injury.
Yep.
I mean, the man cannot catch a break.
And he started out really strong by winning both IWGP and Intercontinental champions. He was the face of the company.
Yep.
I think he was the face of the company a lot, really throughout the pandemic.
Yeah, like the early days, especially. But I mean, AEW just can't get off of this injury bug, man.
I know. Well, then at WWE, the two. I mean, Ilya sucks because they were really building some stuff around him.
Yeah.
And then with Styles, I'm not sure how severe it is.
I don't know that it's all that severe, but I guess we'll see.
Maybe a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Motor City Machine Guns confirmed to be going to SmackDown.
Well, of every technicality other than the name, you see Motor City.
It's the Guns. It's going to be Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin. And honestly, they kind of need it. So that is good to know they are going to SmackDown instead of... Because they were... Everyone said they were going to NXT.
Yep.
But, hey, I guess the main roster needs them a little bit too.
Yeah. I mean, at the same time, yes, they are veterans, but do we really need to put them on NXT? It's not like they changed styles.
Right.
In fact, they trained a lot of the wrestlers that are in WWE right now.
Right.
So I don't think we need to retrain Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin to wrestle the American style. They've been doing it for a minute.
Yeah, they have been. But that's all I've got.
Yep. So when we come back, we're going to talk about the good and the bad of Bad Blood.